Hi, once again welcome back to Obstetrics and Gynecology videos. Today we are going to see about the antenatal preparation, that is antenatal counseling, antenatal exercise, diet in pregnancy, then education of the families, husband and preparation for childbirth. All those things we are going to see in this video. During the pregnancy, a mother is giving counseling and advice regarding various things which help her in carrying her pregnancy well. These things include antenatal counseling, antenatal exercise, antenatal diet, substance abuse during pregnancy, education for childbirth, education for husband and family, preparation for safe confinement, and prevention from exposure to radiation. First, let us see about the antenatal counseling. It helps for strengthening the bond between the coming baby and the mother. So, during the counseling process, the counselor can give education about the upcoming baby and various developmental aspects of the fetus during the pregnancy. All those things can be explained to the mother and even to the family members also. This will help for developing close relationship with the fetus and the baby, and later after the birth of the baby, it will be easy for the mother to establish bonding with the newborn baby. This antenatal counseling will help the mothers to overcome the fear related to labor process, fear about the birth, fear about the parenting role, all those things. So a counselor can educate the mother or give proper information about the childbirth process, about the physiology of childbirth, how she can take care of her child, what is the mother's of all those things can be explained well, and if she is having any doubt, it can be cleared during this antenatal counseling session. But usually this fear about parenting will be coming only for the primary mothers. Others won't be having that much of problem. So we are supposed to give special attention to the woman with first pregnancy. And next one is it reduces the tension that can negatively impact labor and birth. Actually, if the mother is in tension, that may affect the outcome of labor process and delivery of the baby, because the stress may affect her hormonal level and that may affect the delivery process, and it may affect even the baby also harmfully. So that also should be explained to the mother. And during this antenatal counseling process itself, we can educate her how to cope with the labor pain, or what are the measures she can take for coping with the pain, and what is her birth choice, whether she wants to have a companion in her labor room. Such things can be discussed during the antenatal counseling. And always you should give more emphasis for the personal hygiene, or it is a responsibility of the counselor to advise to the person about the personal hygiene, rest and sleep, and we are supposed to advise them to use loose comfortable clothing, and they should avoid the high heel shoes, and traveling should be avoided. It's better to avoid traveling during the first and last trimester, and during the same period coitus also should be avoided, and smoking and alcohol should be restrained, and mother should be immunized for tetanus. All this education you can give during the antenatal counseling process. Next, about the antenatal exercises. Actually, these antenatal exercises will help the mother to reduce the pain, back pain, muscle cramps, all those things can be reduced, and it will improve her posture, and it will improve her body awareness, and if she is having constipation, that can be reduced by doing the exercises. And at the same way, the studies are showing that antenatal exercises are reducing the minor ailments of pregnancy also, and in the postnatal period it helps for the easy recovery of the mother, that is, it helps for the proper involution or contraction of the uterus and even abdominal muscles also, and it helps or improves the ability of the woman to cope with the labor and childbirth, and it increases the energy level of the woman, and it helps her to regain her shape immediately after the delivery. These are the benefits of antenatal exercises. And about the antenatal exercise, I'll be doing a separate video. What are the exercises we are supposed to perform, all those things I'll be doing separately. But here you just remember about the benefits of antenatal exercise. Next is antenatal diet. Already another video is there about the antenatal diet. So also we know that actually we should advise the mother to take carbohydrate, more carbohydrate, protein, fat, minerals and vitamins. Calcium, iron, sodium, zinc, iodine, iron, folic acid, everything should be given adequately for the mother in order to avoid the complications of the baby and in order to improve the health status of the mother also. Fiber rich food, they should take plenty of water. All those things you should advise to the mother. Next is substance abuse during the pregnancy. In case if the mother is having the habit of using alcohol, tobacco, so those things should be avoided and we should tell her that it will affect the baby adversely. So in case if they are having the habit of using this, it will reduce the fetal growth by reducing the nourishment through the placenta. And one more thing, these toxins, example tobacco, nicotine, all those things may cross through the placenta and it may go even to the baby also. The abuses and their effect are mentioned below. That is smoking during the pregnancy. This smoking, we know that cigarette contains nicotine and it is a cancerous substance, and this cancerous substance may pass through the placenta and the baby also may get the effect of that. That is one disadvantage. And those who are using the cigarette, they will be having vasoconstriction and the blood supply and oxygenation to the baby will decrease. So there is a chance for intrauterine growth retardation of the baby, and chance for stillbirth is there, and chance for preterm birth is also there. And the same way, our alcohol also, if the woman is using alcohol, there is a chance for fetal alcohol syndrome and alcohol related neurodevelopmental disorders. That is a combination of structural, neurological and behavioral problems will come for the baby. Next is education about the education for childbirth. That is, tell the mother about the normal reproductive organs, or teach her about the reproductive organs, its structure, and what are the changes that are happening in the reproductive organs during pregnancy and during the labor process, what is happening to the reproductive organs. All those things should be explained to the mother, and teach her about the relaxation techniques and teach her how she can cope with the labor pain during the time of delivery. And we should give careful attention to the emotional aspects of pregnancy, and we should teach her about the stages of labor, first, second and third stage, and even about the fourth stage also. You should give proper explanation to the mother, and it is always we are supposed to teach her about the signs of onset of true labor pain. That also should be explained to the mother properly, and teach her regarding the puerperal period, that is postnatal period, how she is supposed to take care of herself, how she can take care of her newborn baby, how she can breastfeed. All those things you are supposed to include in your education for the childbirth. In the childbirth education process, always we are supposed to involve husband and family, because they are the decision making authorities. So if the woman wants to get proper support, actually they also should be educated. We should advise them about the signs of onset of labor, so that they will take initiatives to bring the patient to the hospital at the proper time. And you should tell the husband about the contraception, and you should educate him that minimum 2-year interval should be there between the children. So proper counseling should be given, proper education should be given to the husband regarding that. And actually he is supposed to act as a role model, and his role is, if it is a first delivery, his role is going to get changed. He is going to be a father, or that also should be conveyed to the husband effectively. And in case if they are having the habit of using alcohol, and if they are having some problems at home violence or something is there, means that should be reduced. And better communication should be there between the husband and wife, because that helps for the proper care of the baby, and it improves the psychological status of the woman also. And if there is better communication and better understanding, it increases the bonding between the husband and wife. At the same time, it increases the bonding between the husband and child and between the mother and child also. And if the husband is proper supportive and if the family members are also supportive, it will help the mother to get a balanced diet, and it will help her to have her medical checkups at the correct times. So it is your responsibility to teach the husband and family members also regarding the balanced diet and the schedule for checkups, immunization, and what are the medications she is supposed to take, even about the antenatal exercises, so that they also can take part. In case if the mother is not taking interest also, they can motivate her to do such things. Next is preparation for safe confinement. In olden days, in our country also, we were practicing home delivery, but nowadays we are not practicing home deliveries. But in Western countries, if other complications are not there, if they are not expecting, if the mother is not a risky woman, in the case of they used to prefer or they used to conduct home deliveries. That is especially in the case of multiparous women, those who are not having the history, any other medical or other history of obstetric complications. In that case, they can opt for the home delivery. Otherwise, if there is complications, if the mother is having any medical or surgical disorders or medical disorders, or if the mother is having any history of bad obstetrical history in the past, in such cases they used to take the case for the hospital delivery. Next one is prevention from exposure to radiation. Actually, nowadays we are not using X-rays. Nowadays we are using MRI or ultrasonography. In case if radiation is advised, we should avoid it in the first trimester, and even if you are using also, we should use low doses, and fetus should be well protected. The risk factors of radiation include, in case if the baby is getting exposed, there is a chance for malignancy, there is a chance for low intelligence quotient, chance for microcephaly, cataract, and cleft lip is there, especially if the baby is getting exposed. So this can be prevented maximum by, we are supposed to avoid the exposure, and in case if it is highly needed, you can go for the proper shielding, and you can use the ARP filters. You can reduce the exposure time, and maximum, already I told you that you should try to avoid the radiological procedures. So far we have seen how to prepare a mother for adjusting with her pregnancy and coping with the delivery, and how to educate a husband and family regarding the childbirth, and how to prepare a mother for the childbirth process. These are the main things we have seen in this video. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon with a new video. Bye.